Okay, I guess it's time to apply for another job. Developer position application. Okay, so standard developer position, you'll be doing standard software development. Free water. Okay, that's pretty cool. Working in a team. We work with an agile methodology, meaning that we have a Kanban board and do daily stand-ups ranging from 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, that seems standard. Okay, let's apply. Current employer. Years of experience. Are you familiar with psychokinetic programming? No? What's that? Are you familiar with bioimplant database querying? No? Are you familiar with quantum cryptic scripting? What? Application failure. Unfortunately, you do not meet the pre-screening evaluation. You're hereby on the block list and any further harassment will be met with a court order? What? We're often bombarded with the idea of constant learning and self-improvement. And there's certainly no lack of educational platforms available, both the paid and the free ones. Many people even goes as far as to have a learning or self-improvement obsession. But why? I mean, learning can feel like such a grind. It can feel like so much effort. I need to now go and study in my own free time? Cut into my gaming time? Yeah, no thanks. Perfectly understandable. Thanks for watching my video. If you want to subscribe, maybe think of hitting the subscribe button. And that is exactly the pitfall. You think that after doing your boot camp, diploma, or degree, you're finally done with studying. You fool, then you shouldn't have chosen software development.
You fool! You foolish fool!
The truth of the matter is that working in software development is one of those career paths where you're always going to have to educate yourself and always going to have to upskill on the latest tech. On a serious note, lifelong learning does come with some crazy benefits. For one, you won't stagnate. There's nothing worse than to stay at the same place forever. It also broadens your mind. This is great for when you come across a problem that needs a little bit more of a creative problem solving. It also helps you to become an all-round SME, subject matter expert. You can either specialize and become the best in your field in one specific thing, but in IT it's often better to have a broad understanding of many things. That way you can solve a problem on multiple ways. It diversifies your skill set. A SQL developer will always want to solve a problem with a stored procedure. A JavaScript developer might want to do all validations on the front end, and so forth and so forth. You get the idea. If you only focus on the technologies that you're working with, you won't necessarily grow your skill diversity, meaning that you'll only ever be good at one thing. And when that one thing is in risk of not being a thing anymore, what are you going to do then? And you also stay up to date. Remember why you wanted to work in tech in the first place. Is it perhaps because of all the cool things that happen and all of the new technologies and new interesting things that you can work with? Well, if you always just stay at the same place and never really learn anything new, you won't have the opportunity to really take on those new technologies. And if you have studied them beforehand, maybe you'll identify a spot in your project where you can implement that specific technology. So how exactly do I stay up to date? And how do I get into this continuous learning thing? It might feel like a grind, but you don't have to jump into your doctorate degree in computer science. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's look at a few things that you can do to start having a continuous learning mindset. Watch YouTube videos. There's a ton of YouTube videos out there that are well researched and that contain great research and tutorials on the technologies that you're trying to learn. Sign up for the newsletter of a blog or a newsletter relating to the technology that you want to learn. Even if it's a blog that's focusing on technologies that you're currently using, don't just let them fall into your inbox and never read them. Actually make some time to read them. That actually brings us to our next point. Read. Wait, I need to read? Oh no, thanks, I'm out. Yes, you need to get into the habit of consuming educational content. Whether that content is in the form of a blog, an article, a paper, a white paper, whatever, as long as you're reading to educate yourself and to get some new information into your head. Of course, there are things like read aloud if you don't want to brave the wall of text. And it's pretty good to get you into the habit of at least starting to read. For those who don't know what read aloud is, on Microsoft Edge, you can right click and then say read aloud section. It's pretty cool and Pretty useful if you want to do like multiple things at the same time. Start with a short course on one of the many educational platforms. And as long as you start with at least one short course, at least that's a start, even if you just do 1 or 2 a year. Listen, Udemy always have some kind of a special on their courses. This video is not sponsored by them, just so that you know. And lastly, for this video, look for something that interests you. It's much easier to learn something if the subject matter actually interests us. Why do you think it was so hard to learn at school? Because most of the things there didn't really interest you at all. Don't try to force yourself to learn higher fundamental mathematics and computer science if that's not your interest. Look for something that you find really cool and let your learning curiosity grow from there. Lifelong learning is a habit, and unfortunately habits are hard to foster. But as you go on, it'll get easier and easier. The most important part is just to start somewhere. And who knows, you might even turn into one of those people that have a Learning Wednesday. Ew. If you want to keep an eye out on my channel and see what I do next, maybe think about subscribing. I hope this helped. Cheers.